Hi, my name is Alvaro. In case you're wondering about my name, I'm German Spanish. I also speak German and Spanish, obviously. And I offer several services, that is from web development to social media management and Groupon services slash sales or promotional services. For web development, you can basically go just through my profile and see what we offer. But I'm basically offering anything from WordPress, Magento, Laravel, CodeIgniter, basically PHP frameworks or languages that work with specific where these frameworks, and learning more and more and more languages. But that's not the purpose of the video. So, like I said, I offer web development, social media, and Groupon slash promotional services. For social media, basically, I cover anything from influencer marketing, content management, content creation. So basically, the entire project. And basically, that means also, reaching out to local businesses that we can work with, possibly, or also to work with influencers that we can work with and have a lot of giveaways and basically start building the campaign. I'm also going to talk in this video about Groupon because, like I said, I've been working with Groupon for 10 years now. And Groupon is a very great source for additional passive income, and it works very well with specific customers. But to begin with, I quickly want to focus on social media. So basically social media management, marketing, and so forth and so forth. Usually I maintain or keep my customers for social media for 6 to 12 months because it is a lot of work. I only keep 3 to 4 customers at a time because, like I said, it is a lot of work, and obviously I don't want to mix it up and just confuse it. So for social media, I take care. That means from creating the content. That means pictures, videos, stories, the text, the hashtags, and so forth and so forth. And I engage in the local community. That means following people of our interest or following partners that we could possibly work with. Creating campaigns that would work with influencers and creating campaigns only internally or with small influencers or Instagram accounts or businesses that would be of our interest. And it really depends what industry you're in. But I usually try to see that it gets really interesting and, of course, grow the follower base generically, which is something that takes time, but it's something really interesting. The customer that you see here, for example, sells baking supplies on Amazon. I'm also a marketplace expert. That means since I've worked with Groupon, I've also worked for many years with Expedia, and that built basically a foundation for me to become a marketplace expert. And with that, obviously, I started to work with Amazon and eBay and built really a strong connection to marketplaces. And obviously, I'm a big fan of them because obviously any additional source of income slash channel, distribution channel is good, and it will help. Whether we have to or you have to pay commissions to them or not, that's something else, but it's an additional income. I'd rather have 70% or 80% of $100 rather than 100% of $0. So that's my understanding, and that's my way of working. But that depends on everyone. Long story short, this customer here, for example, usually if the customer is already set up, that means between Facebook and Instagram and all the brand identities all the same and all the connections the same, that I don't have to do the setup. If not, then I usually do the setup also for some of my customers. That means setting up the page on Instagram, setting up the Facebook page, connecting them together, creating the brand identity. That means all the pictures and the logos are all the same. The headers, potentially, obviously, on Instagram that's not possible, but Facebook, also on Twitter, for example, or LinkedIn. and basically just keep the brand identity the same. Obviously, all the descriptions, the about us sections, and so forth and so forth. On Facebook and Instagram, obviously, you're able to sell. That means and connect your website. That means I would connect Instagram with Facebook so that we are able to sell products on Instagram or on Facebook through the website, which is really, really cool. So this customer here that you see here, like I said, sells baking supplies through Amazon, and they're very successful. So I've taken over this account with, I think, if I remember right, 800 or 700 followers, and I took it all the way up to I think 7 or 8,000, and then the wife of the business owner took over, and now she's part of the team, and they're working together. I still work with him on certain cases, but his wife took mainly over. I also have another account that I'm currently working on, which is this one here. It's a small company. They are selling sort of like the online apps, the apps that you have where you can buy credits for specific games. Well, this is what they do. They sell credits for games, online games, and this is their website that I've developed. It's it's GTA. It's a game for the PlayStation or from the computer. Many people might know it. If you have kids, then they might know it. And yes, so this is the website of the other client. And like I said, in many cases, I'm able to combine social media together with, and these customers are both in Germany. This customer here, I'm taking over right now. We're starting as we speak now. Usually what I like to do is start following a lot of customers, and then over time I would unfollow them. But starting to grow the follower base, and then, like I said, over time defollow them. So for example, in this one, in this Instagram channel here, in the beginning we were following 4,000 people, and we were going down and down and down, and now we're 13,000, which is great. Obviously, that will allow you now on the phone to create links and tags on the stories, which is great, or basically links, advertising, which you can only do once you have 10,000 customers, 10,000 followers. So, like I said, I usually try to combine, if it's possible, also with Groupon, which I'm going to speak about in a couple of minutes. But right now, I just wanted to focus on some of the content. Generally speaking, if you have, let's say, 10,000 followers, you can be happy if you get 10% of the likes, which you see here. You can be happy. That really depends what content you create, or what kind of business you're basically, or what you represent. If you're an influencer, like a travel model or something like that, then they tend to get more, because obviously the follower base are really connected to these influencers. But in this case here, they really don't have a connection. It's just based on visual content. That means the pictures. And yes. So here it's a little bit more difficult, but in general, it's of course possible. And as you see here, the numbers, they're pretty okay. On this here, we don't know yet, but we will see in the future. But I also would estimate that we would get 5% or 8% of the likes based on our follower base. What kind of content do I like to create? Well, it really depends on the industry. Here it has to be pretty standard. But if I have some Instagram page that has really cool dynamic products or services where I can create cool content, such as this company here, then I can start creating content that is similar to these things that I'm going to show you here, which is more dynamic. And I'm going to show you a couple of samples. You see here the pictures. These are just samples that I see over time that I like, that I want to recreate. As you see here, these are samples that I could use with the phone where the city is popping out. These are things that I would still integrate into the monthly subscription. Well, this case here would be a good case for this as an example. or content like this. So basically this is great for a story, because obviously that will allow me to create cool content. Each single image that you see here is basically a new story. And I can create content like that for my customers. The next example is pretty cool. I like that a lot. As you see, that's a cool story that I could create. Or something very, very, very simple, such as this here. As you see, as you slide through these images, they're just extensions. Just one image just split up into a gallery, which is a really cool idea and simple. So as you see here, the content is pretty cool and simple, but effective. One of the other things that I have seen or can create is basically content like that, and I'm going to show you one example here from Bayern Munich, the soccer team, which I really like. I'm following them. You see the content here. That's a story. That's a film. It's a short clip, but you see how dynamic. You see how this is moving. So the content is really dynamic, and I really like content like that. This one is also a good example. Very simple, but short and crisp. So, or a video like that, McDonald's. As you see, very simple, but cool effects. So usually I like to create content like that, but it really depends on the business, like I said. Now, the question is, how do I combine it with Groupon, right? So for example, this business right here, she is a spa, right? And I basically create the campaigns on Groupon. That means I come up with the ideas, what kind of campaigns do I want to run, and I really have to be aggressive and monitor it, because there's a soft launch and a hard launch. And I really want to be aggressive in the very beginning. Some of the deals that you see here are not really successful because the client obviously needs to give me full permission to completely craft the deal however I want to. Usually in the very beginning, I just want to break even. That means in the first month or first 6 weeks, because that allows me to basically own the algorithm. It's a terminology that we use within Groupon. Like I said, I've been working with Groupon for over 10 years. There's been a lot of changes over the time, but we have to basically gain control of the market in the local market. For example, in Florida, some of these deals, as you see here, we generated 100,000, and we've paused this last year in October, or not in October. Yeah, in October. Yes, they're in October. So in 2017, no, I'm sorry, 2018. It's 2019 now. In 2018, in October 2018, last year, we've paused the deal because we just were getting too many deals. And this is for fat racing. And we ran the deal for a little bit more than a year, as you can see. We started the deal in May, and we generated a little bit over a year, we generated over $100,000. That's passive income, really good income as an additional source. On some of the other deals, as you see here, only 15, but it really depends. If you allow me, I can be really, really, really aggressive and only break even the first month. But then the next or the second or third month, we can be very aggressive and increase the price slowly and slowly and slowly. And then over time, you will own the market. So you're going to have higher impressions than anyone else. For example, this one here is another example. We started this a couple of months before. In between, we paused it, we continued, we paused it, we continued. Microbidding is very, very, very famous. So here, as you see, over almost $100,000, which is really good. And again, like I said, we have paused it and activated in between because it was too much. It was too much that we had to pause it. But you see, it's really, really good. So with a combination of social media and a combination of Groupon, if you're able to get into Groupon, depending on your industry, depending on what services you sell, I can get you into Groupon within 2 weeks or 3 weeks with a deal, with a signed contract and everything. But social media combined with other campaigns and marketing campaigns, whether it's local business or an influencer that we can do specific campaigns with, you can really do a lot. So that's basically the whole video. I just wanted to try to keep it as short as possible, but we're in 15 minutes. And yes, I think I covered a lot. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know if you have any questions. All right, take care. Bye. Good luck.